Hello my crafty friends, it's Beverly here over at Crafty and Chaos, and I'm here with another video on the Critter Card series part 5, and this is part 5A, the creating of the file for the cute lion. Okay, so here we are in Canvas workspace, and I have put the lion together as one file just for us to refer to, and these are the parts that we'll need to create to make the file. So let's get on with it. So I'm going to delete those. I'll increase the view a little so we can see a bit better what's going on. And then I'm going to open the properties box so that I've got it available for resizing and such. And we're going to start on our basic shapes, and we're going to start with the lion's head, which will be a circle. So I'll bring on a circle, and we're going to resize that to 1.75 inches. So there we've got that resized. Next we need a circle for the cheeks, and we're going to need 2 of those, and we're going to just click on the shape, hit D on the keyboard, and then we're going to resize the cheeks to 0.75 inches. So these will form the lion's cheeks, and we're going to need 2 of those, so hit D on the keyboard for the lion's cheeks. Next we're going to work with the ears, so again we need another circle, so I'm going to hit D on my keyboard, and I'm going to resize it to 1/4 of an inch or 0.25 inches. I'm going to need to just zoom in a little so you can see this next step, so we can see the lion's ears. That's looking a little bit small for the ears. Sorry, we're resizing to 0.44 inches. Okay, so I misread my notes there. So then we're going to bring on a shape that I can just subtract some of the circle from. So I've just brought on the square, which is on top, and I'm just positioning the circle just so it's overlapping slightly. You can see just by the amount, and it's not it doesn't have to be exact, and you could leave it as just a circle if you wish, but I'm going to do this step, and this shows you how you can process the overlap and you can remove the overlap. Now, providing the shape is on top that you're wanting to use as the division, you'll end up with it removing the overlap underneath. So that's kind of given us the ears for the lion. Now I'm just going to delete that one actually. I'm going to rotate it by 45 degrees. Then I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to edit and flip on the horizontal axes. This is just steps for me so that I can see a little bit clearer about what I'm doing. So there's my ears for the lion. So that means that I can position them further down on the head on top, and it looks like they're coming out of the lion's ears. Head. So next I'm going to do the lion's body. So I'm going to click on the head and hit duplicate, and then I am going to resize that to 2.43 inches. So that will be the lion's body, and we're going to send that right to the back because that's the back layer. Now I'm just going to select everything and see how we're doing by changing it to the orangey liony colour. I'm going to move the cheeks into position-ish. I mean, this is all just relative, just based on what we're looking at as the lion is, as he is. And next we're going to work on the legs. So I'm going to first of all bring on the basic oval, and it's the narrow oval that I need, and I'm going to resize that to 3.32. I'm going to untick the minus, maintain the aspect ratio, so 3.32 by 1 inch, and hit enter. Now that's given us a quite kind of longish, skinny excuse me, oval shape. So I'm going to need my square again, or a rectangle, whichever, doesn't really matter, just something that we can split the shape in half with. So I'm going to hit edit. Now, sorry, I'm going to select both shapes, and then I'm going to go edit, process the overlap, and remove the overlap. And that has given us the leg of the lion. And at this stage is where you can, if you wish, just size it down a little if you think it's a little bit too wide. So I'm just taking it a little bit narrower to about 0.75 inches, and I'm reasonably happy with that. Then I'm going to just rotate a little bit, duplicate, and then edit flip on the vertical axis, and there we have the lion's two front legs. I'm then going to move on to doing the paw at the bottom, and for this one we're going to need the egg shape. So we're going to click on the egg, bring it onto our screens, and we're going to resize to 0.78, so 0.78 by 1.08. Oops. So that should be the paw. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is pull off the two and just see what they're looking like, and I think that's going to be okay. I'm not going to weld because I want to be able to make it stand a little bit proud, so I'm going to just, hit that one, duplicate it, put it at the bottom, then we'll select all four of those shapes and we'll turn them orange, and I'm going to do it a slightly lighter orange just so we can see the difference. So there we have that. So the next we're going to do the lion's nose. So again we need a circle, so I'm going to click on one of the circles, drag it off, hit D, and I'm going to resize to 0.44 inches, maintaining the aspect ratio to give us that circle. Now I'm going to change the colour to black or a very dark brown for the lion's nose, and there we have it. Okay, so next we're going to work on the eyes. So we're going to need an oval shape, just a standard normal oval, or the fatter of the two. Let me just find them. Where are the ovals? Here we are, that's the one. And we're going to resize that to 0.46, so 0.46 by 0.34. Take off that 0.34. Okay, so that should give us our oval shape, and it seems to have disappeared, and it's up the top there. So I'm just going to move that down out of the way so I can drag it across. I'm going to shade it white, edit undo. I think I hit delete as well. So I'm going to bring it onto my lion, and I'm going to hit D on my keyboard for a second one, and I'm just going to group them temporarily, so edit and group, and then I'm going to move them back until they're behind the cheeks of the lion, like so, and then I'm going to edit and ungroup so that it'll be easier for me to separate them by colour later. So next I'm going to need another circle, so I'm just going to click on one of the circles, hit D on my keyboard, resize it to 0.25 with the maintain aspect ratio selected. So 0.25, change it to black, so it's 1/4 of an inch, click on it and then just make sure that's selected before you hit D, and then position on the lion as you see. Okay, so obviously they'll be behind the cheeks when you stick them down, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Next we're going to work on the mane. So we need this funky star shape here. So it's part of the sort of after the circle, and we want the star shape. Actually it's not that one, it's the more pointed star. So you want the greater pointed star, the second one along. And we're going to need one at 2.68. and then we're going to click on click off and duplicate it, and a second one at 3.24 inches. So if we move that in towards the lion, that's going to be the outer mane. We're going to make that, oops, excuse me, we're going to select that and we're going to change that to the lighter colour, just for on the video's sake, so we can differentiate between the two. And we're going to send it to the very back, because that's the very back, and then we're going to bring it back forward by one layer so it's in front of the, and maybe one more layer so it's on top of the, nope, maybe not. So when you're doing this, you need to just be aware of what you're moving and where. So we're going to move that back and that one back. Okay, so there we've got the first part of the mane, and you can position that where you will. And then the second one, I'm going to make the darker colour again, just so that it looks different on the screen. And again, we're going to send it to the very back first and then bring it forward, place it behind the head, and that's the second layer. So now, apart from the lion's tail pieces, we are more or less complete. So let's just have a look what we're aiming for. There's the tail. And what we need again for this is the oval shape. So I'm going to bring on an oval. I'm just going to move that out of the way for now so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to hit D on my keyboard, and I'm going to change one of them to black, just so that it's clearer what we're doing, the one on top. So what we're doing is we're making that sort of tail shape by subtracting one of the oval shapes from the other one. So being careful just to select the two shapes. I've got them both selected, and I'm going to process the overlap and hit remove overlap. Now when I remove the black one, you'll see that we're left with just that thin sliver of the first one, which we're now going to rotate by 90 degrees. And we're going to flip on the vertical axes. So that kind of gives us the position, and then I'm going to just rotate it by eye. So until I think it looks okay, I'm going to move it into position, like so. Maybe just rotate it just a little bit more. And then I'm going to send it to the very back, just so that, so we can see what it's looking like. And that's the lion's tail. Then finally I need the pom-pom for the end. So I need the smallest scalloped circle, which I believe is this one. And we'll just delete that now because we don't need that anymore. And that's going to get resized right down to 0.79 inches. So 0.79 inches, maintaining the aspect ratio. I'm going to change it to a very dark brown so it shows up clearly, and position it at the end of the tail. So now, as you can see, that's our lion shape complete. I might just change the face colour back to that colour again, so that you can see the difference in colours. So there's our lion. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you'll have a try at this one. Now, just for argument's sake, you could make this, I've actually done this one, and it's quite cute if you do it smaller. Now, to make it smaller, what you would do is select all of your layers and go to edit and group, and then you would resize them. Now, if you're wanting to resize them for what I'm doing, you need it to be roughly about 2.5 inches high. So we're going to change the lion until it's 2.5 inches high, like so. So in fact, if you wanted to do it from in here, you can. So make that 2.5. Okay, so there's our lion, and if we close that, we can see it's actually about 3, so I need to make him just a little bit less. Just not crucial, but thereabouts. Now what you would do, when you're happy with the size, is you would then ungroup all those bits, and you could cut them out in those smaller pieces. And I've made him into a bookmark, and I will include a picture at the end of the video. So this one would be more the size for an embellishment on a card. So I'm just ungrouping those because I'll save both versions in my file. And that would make the lion, the big lion, and the smaller lion for the bookmark. The big lion would be more for a card focal point image, or you could indeed use the smaller one as a little lion cubs, if you will, are starting to grow. You could remove part of the mane, just have a smaller mane, or if you wanted it as a proper lion, you could have it like that. Anyway, the choice is yours, but I will post a video of the picture that I've made the lion into a bookmark with a large, not a safety pin, what they're called, paper clip. I will show you that at the end. So I hope you've liked the video. If you have, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. So remember, leave comments or questions in the comments box below, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.